In the name of God, the victor of the most victorious, proclaim, God will assist all those who arise to serve him. No one is able to deprive him of his majesty, his dominion, his sovereignty. For in the heavens and on earth, and in all the realms of God, he is the victorious and the conqueror.
We would like to share with you the various types of educational and training programs which are sponsored by the Baha'i community throughout India. The Baha'i community of India is approaching the vast domain of education through 4 different channels: the private English medium school, the agricultural academic school, the rural development and technological institutes, and the village tutorial schools.
ಪ್ರಪಂಚ ಒಂದೇ ಮನವತೆ ಒಂದೇ ದೇವರು ಒಬ್ಬನೇ ಧರ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೇ ಬಹವುಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಎಂದು ಬಹವುಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಪ್ರಪಂಚ ಒಂದೇ ಮನವತೆ ಒಂದೇ.
The tutorial school system was established to fill a vacuum which existed primarily due to the absence of academic schools in many remote areas. The function of the tutorial school is to provide academic education and spiritual training for those villages where no schools or facilities are available in the vicinity. Classes are held in the homes of villagers or in the shade of a large tree, as it is being held here in the village of Vadakapura in Madhya Pradesh.
आनंद से रहें सुनकर पूरा न समाता था.
Here we have another tutorial school in West Bengal, about 2 hours outside of Calcutta, in the community of Channagar.
তোমাদের আজকে বাপ সম্বন্ধে একটা অলৌকিক কাহিনী বলবো। বাপকে যখন বন্দি করে রাখা হলো,
Apart from the academic training which students receive in the tutorial schools, they are also offered moral and social training which will give them the foundation for being of true service to their community, their nation, and the world at large.
ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে। বাহাউল্লাহ কত খ্রিস্টাব্দে জন্মগ্রহণ করেছিলেন? আব্দুল বাহা কে ছিলেন? আব্দুল বাহা হচ্ছেন বাহাউল্লাহর জ্যেষ্ঠ পুত্র।
The second emphasis within the educational scheme of the Baha'i community is primarily focused on the adults in rural India. 2 processes are currently being used to improve the material, social, and spiritual fabric of village life. Mr. Flairiva Tafaki is the co-director of the Rural Development Project in Chikli Valley, located near Wai in the state of Maharashtra. The Rural Development Project is an example of one type of rural adult education program. which seeks to work very close with the villagers to help them determine the ways and means by which their lives can be improved.
This setup here is a result of a consultation between the government block development agency and the village of Chikli and the New Era Rural Development Program. The idea being to lift water from this well and pump them up to a tank reservoir up the hill and have these completely sealed, and people with their animals and their laundries would go to their own environment where they have their own pipes from the system and do their own cleaning and washing there. When we close this one there, we obviously reduce the dirt and the pollution that would flow back into as a result of these activities. One of the first things that the project found out when it came down here was that the land area per farmer was so small that it is virtually impossible to eke a living out of it. And so the project decided to design schemes that use less land but intensive. And poultry unit was one of the first ones that got into. And here you have Popat's poultry farm, 100 birds, very simple, tile roof, mud and goba wall, and here, simple floor. Popat here sells most of his eggs to New Era School, which is the main market outlet for most of the products down here. Popat is a teacher in Chikli School, and whereas he teaches there, his grandmother, who did not undergo any training or pre-experience in the keeping of poultry, looks after it. So it's a very simple but money-earning scheme. The same concept was applied with regards to the dairy. Here we have a Friesian crossbreed introduced by the Rural Development Program to the valley, and compared to the local breed, which gives about 2 liters a day, this one here gives about 16 liters. So you can see it's approximately 8 times more than the local breed.
The project has been instrumental in getting key villagers trained as medical and healthcare workers so that basic medical needs can be met at the village level. Otherwise, at least a full day's travel and expenses are incurred to receive aid, or a minor ailment or injury may go unattended and result in serious complications later on. An important responsibility of the healthcare worker is the timely detection of early childhood diseases. Some of the female healthcare workers have received training as midwives and serve as pre- and postnatal advisors to new mothers. There seems to be a greater sense of trust and cooperation shown towards the trained local people than was given to the outside healthcare workers who came to administer aid. Mrs. Vijaya Faramand is responsible for the women's and children's educational programs in the Chikli Valley project.
The purpose of the project was this, that this rural area, the rural people should improve their economical condition, their social condition, and of course morals. If you want to improve somebody's moral behavior, we have to start from childhood. And that's why I teach them prayers, songs, I teach them hidden words, many different stories about all the prophets, all the wise people of the world.
आणखीन 2 शिक्षक पाठवले. एकाचं नाव आहे बाप आणि दुसऱ्याचं नाव आहे बहाउल्ला.
When I teach about history, I tell them the history of Bab and Baha'ullah also. Told these children what Baha'ullah says about the world. Baha'ullah says, world is but one country and mankind is citizen. If this is true, then how we should behave? Children say that we have to be friendly with them. So if we are friendly, then what is necessary? One thing is love, another thing is the language. I said, how we are going to solve the language problem? How beautiful. Baha'u'llah has showed us for this time, for this age, there should be international language. In future, children, wherever you'll go in the world, you won't have any problem. You'll be friendly with everybody because there'll be international language.
तुमच्यासारखीच एक राधाबाई आहे, तिचा पती आहे, तिची मुलं आहेत. आणि ह्या राधाबाईचा पती ट्रकचा ड्रायव्हर आहे. आणि राधाबाईला नेहमी काळजी आहे की माझी मुलं इतकी बारीक का, माझा नवरा एवढा बारीक का, त्याला चष्मा लावून सुद्धा.
Since 1975, when the rural development project started, we started taking women's class.
आणि तिला because mother is the first educator of the child. For that reason, teaching women is very important. So in these villages, we take classes on nutrition, on hygiene, and morals classes also. If woman knows to pray, then she can teach her children properly.
This lamp is powered by a combination of cow dung mixed with latrine disposal, and it supplies light for a simple villager, and supplies at the same time a smokeless stove, as opposed to the old system, which is the burning of firewood in a windowless small room like this. This is more sanitationally hygienic. This is the main gobar gas plant unit. It is 15 feet down into the ground, and on the top here is the gas chamber. It is operated by mixing a very appropriate mixture of cow dung and water into this mixing chamber before it's being fed into this unit. Out here is an overflow slurry into 2 pits. After some time it becomes very good fertilizers, and farmers would take them off and spread them up into the fields before the monsoon.
These young men rise up before dawn to begin their walk up the mountain to the Institute of Rural Technology in Panchgani, which is a well-known center of education. The Institute of Rural Technology is responsible for the second process, which is used to educate adults in rural areas. The Institute specializes in the development of appropriate technology and industrial skills which can be used in the village setting. The Institute was established initially due to the contributions of the Mother Hedda Foundation of New York.
Ram Ram. We're now in the third year of a 5-year project. This is the first project of the Institute. It's a fine woodworking project. We started training phase last year.
Mr. Edwin Miller, the director of the Panchgani Institute of Rural Technology, is showing a visitor to the Institute through the facilities. Along with the funding which the Mother Hedda Foundation has provided, it was also instrumental in finding a market in New York for the products which the students make at the Institute.
Here's another item that we have a good market for. It's a library tray for carrying books. You can see it has a lot of fine spindle work in it. Takes a lot of skill. That's the original, and this is our version of it. All this very fine spindle work. Takes a really good machine. That's one of the things that we do here at the Institute also, is try to develop tools and machinery that are low cost. So one of the machines that we've developed to do this, I've got in here in the shop if you'd like to come in and take a look at it. This is one of our low-cost machines. You can see he's turning these very fine spindles on that. This is a lathe, and it does 2 or 3 other jobs as well. Now, when we came in, you could see that they were operating it on foot power. They were pedaling it, and of course that lowers the cost because the motor itself is costly.
The Institute has developed a unique program wherein the students are able to earn while they learn. During the first year, their income pays for their tuition, tools, and materials. By the second year, they do well enough to pay for their tuition, clear a consistent wage, and share in the profits of the Institute. The students learn to make their own tools, including a foot power lathe, which is approximately 1/10 of the cost compared to the open market value.
Oh God, guide me, protect me, illumine the lamp of my heart, and make me a billion stars. Thou art the mighty and powerful Abdul Baha.
The Ravani School is a Hindi medium agricultural academic institution. It is located about 12 miles outside of Gwalior in Madhya Pradesh. The Ravani School teaches students from the 6th standard through the board exam year, which is the 11th standard. Dr. Stephen Waite, director of the Rabbani School.
The Rabbani program is a balance between the vocational and the spiritual aspects of education. The primary purpose of the Rabbani School is to serve the villages of India. So our vocational activity here is primarily agriculturally based. In that connection, we have a large farm under development wherein the boys all learn the aspects of agronomy. We also have animal husbandry, poultry. We have fisheries that we're experimenting with. The purpose of all of these activities is to provide the boys with real skills that they can take back to their villages and assist in the establishment of strong Baha'i communities.
Rabbani has embarked upon a course of development which meets the immediate obstacles of growth with innovative approaches, such as the construction of this solar water heater to be used for cooking and bathing.
Rice husks are going to give us more insulation value, and we've got plenty of rice husks, and they don't cost very much. They're just a waste material.
To balance the vocational emphasis of the Rabbani School, it is academic and spiritual. We accept boys in the academic program as they have passed the 5th standard and will carry them through the 11th standard. There they receive all the standard academic subjects.
इस चार्ट में हर एक चीज इसमें मेंशन है
एषां न विद्या न तपो न दानं ज्ञानं न शीलं न तपो न दानं गुणो न धर्मः.
In addition to the traditional courses in math, science, and social studies, classical subjects such as Sanskrit, the mother of all Indian languages, is also taught.
गुरु गोविंदो खड़े काके रागुपाय
बलिहारी गुरु आपकी गोविंदिया बताए. करीब 1300 पुस्तकें हैं और उनका अनुवाद हिंदी, अंग्रेजी, संस्कृत और भी कई भाषाओं में हुआ है. और भगवान बहाउला ने बताया है कि
Rabbani, of course, is also a Baha'i school. The boys receive daily Baha'i training. We celebrate all feasts, holy days. The boys rise at 5:30 in the morning to prayers and songs and so forth. Then during the day say prayers many times. Indeed, the whole atmosphere of the school is Baha'i.
We are the people of Baha. We are the people of Baha. We are the people of. We are the people of. We are the people of Baha. हम सब Baha के लोग हैं.
Another aspect of the Baha'i program is an active teaching program, whereby boys from the school visit nearby villages to conduct children's classes, and at Rizwan time assist in the election of all the nearby assemblies. The total effect of all of this training will be to have a person who has been fully immersed in the faith for 6 years, both in an academic studying sense and in a practicing teaching sense. When they leave, they will be really kind of independent Baha'i teachers, thus fulfilling the purpose of the House of Justice, which is to assist in the teaching and consolidation work here in India.
The Glory School in Shantiniketan is an example of the English medium private academic schools sponsored by the Baha'is throughout India. Glory is a young institution which is following the developmental pattern of adding one standard each year until they reach the board exam level. The Glory School uses the latest educational methods and materials to foster the intellectual growth of its students. The Glory School teachers are all dedicated to the intellectual, spiritual, and physical growth of their children. Therefore, in spite of its size and age, one can feel the momentum which Glory is gathering in its thrust towards a successful future. The New Era School, located in Panchgani, is the mother of Baha'i educational institutions in the country, and along with schools like Glory in Shantiniketan, represents the fourth prong in the advance of the Indian Baha'i community towards helping solve the educational dilemmas of the country.
Students, we are drawing to close the academic year, and within a week to 10 days your exams are going to begin.
Dr. Ray Johnson, the principal of the New Era School since 1971, has been the prime mover in the development of the school's educational services. In addition to its cross-section of staff and students from all over India, New Era represents a veritable flower garden of humanity, with students and staff from around the world. Along with the tutorial schools, the rural development and technological projects, the agricultural cum academic institutions, New Era represents the fourth sector in the blueprint of the Baha'i educational plan.
We would like now to close the morning assembly. And so we'd like the thought for the day and the closing prayers.
Time is like a snowflake. It disappears while we're trying to decide what to do with it. हे मेरे खुदा, तेरा नाम मेरी शिफा, तेरी याद मेरी दुआ है, तेरा कुर्ब मेरी दिली तमन्ना और तेरी मोहब्बत मुनिस व हमदम है, तेरा फजल करम मेरा तबीब और दुनिया व आखिरत में हामी व मददगार है, बेशक तू ही अता फरमाने वाला अलीम व हकीम है.
O God, refresh and gladden my spirit, purify my heart, illumine my mind. I lay all my fears in thy hand. Thou art my guide and my refuge. I will no longer be sorrowful and grieved. I will be happy and joyful. O God, I will no longer be full of anxieties, nor will I let trouble harass me. I will not dwell on the unpleasant things of life. O God, thou art kinder to me than I am to myself. I dedicate myself to thee, O Lord.
Prefects, would you please take charge?
Hello, my name is Samir Rupani. I study in the 4th standard at New Era School. I'd like to show you around the primary section of our school.
And it is about Hector and Achilles. Now, legends and what type of stories can you tell me?
One of my favorite subjects is history. I like to learn about the heroes of the past and how they helped their people, sometimes even giving their own life.
Legends are not true stories.
One of our classes we have is Indian dance. Some of the steps and movements seem funny to me, but I think it is still very important that we should do our best.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ready? Start the first step. Ready? 1. Stop. Sister. 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 Sister.
From the Junior Education magazine. Now, this helps the children.
New teaching materials, aids, and methods are introduced and shared by the members during weekly teacher workshops. These teacher workshops allow the staff the opportunity to keep abreast of the most up-to-date practices and philosophies in the field of education.
I'd like to show you some of the books that we got this week that just arrived that I think that you might like to use for your planning for next year's projects.
As in all Baha'i education programs, moral and spiritual concepts are taught in order to inculcate in the young minds the truths about the oneness of God, the oneness of mankind, and the spiritual oneness of religion. The Montessori method of education is one of the unique ways used to simplify the difficult concepts of math and science. The philosophies of Piaget, Dewey, Ferrer, and Jordan, in addition to other notable educationists, provide a wellspring of knowledge from which new era's educational practices grow.
We haven't any peer said Jack in a gloomy voice. Perhaps not, but we have plenty of apples, said father.
The primary school library at New Era is one of its most prominent features, with over 1,500 volumes currently available to the students.
Do not brush them.
Try this again. You know when you get a hurt on your hands? You bruise.
Bruise them. I think you will be able.
Excursions into the rich cultural and physical environment surrounding New Era is always an adventure to be experienced and learned from. The skills and rural lifestyles, which are often taken for granted, provide unique cross-cultural experiences.
I've got one of the clocks from the village. Would you all look at it for a moment? Remember the way they did it? And we've got to try to see how you can make yours as fine as you can.
The New Era School, in meeting all of the expected government requirements in science, math, social studies, second language, physical training, etc., also requires that its students and staff strive towards a high moral attitude and social responsibility.
Where mention of God has been made, and His praise glorified.
Find the area bounded by the parabola.
New Era also offers a bifurcated course of study in science, commerce, and liberal arts at the higher secondary or junior college level. Math and statistics is one of the requirements for students seeking a degree in science.
You collect the gas in the gas jar.
The culmination of the academic career of the students finds them facing the challenge of demonstrating whether or not they have prepared themselves adequately enough to pass the government board examination. A student must successfully pass this examination in the 10th or 12th standard to be eligible for higher studies. Another unique policy at New Era is its practice of inviting ex-students back to the school to share with the upper class students the experiences they have had in the wider work and educational world. Jagdish Goswami, a final year medical student, discusses some of the experiences and insights he has gained since leaving New Era.
And you should read at least 3 to 4 hours minimum.
Jagdish, in your college, either we take arts, science or commerce. But which one is the best to choose as a profession? Which can be of real service?
You see, all the professions are good, provided done in the spirit of service. But if you refer to the writings, Baha'u'llah says that teaching is the most noble profession. But the spirit of service is most important, that's what I think. Any profession. Beloved Guardian explains about arts and history and things like that, so many other subjects. But the spirit of service must be there. In this school, we really feel that we develop that sense,
As students wait patiently for their board exam results to be announced, they have time to reflect on their past school years and ponder the possibilities of what the future will offer. Mr. Ramnikalal Shah, the Secretary of the National Spiritual Assembly of the Baha'is of India, Mrs. Vijaya Farhamand, and Dr. Ray Johnson visit the site of a future Baha'i educational institution, the New Era Teacher Training College.
Point here at the bottom of the mountain, we're going to be starting the construction of the workshop for rural technology first. And then from there, we will be moving into the actual classroom buildings and maybe some dormitory facilities.
Now, about the rural development project and their activities connected with junior college, how will you arrange everything over there?
Well, the idea is that because all of these programs can complement each other and develop
The
into an
possibilities and future of the Baha'i educational institutions in India are indeed bright. As these institutions persevere in their efforts to serve all strata of the nation, they are sustained by the principle of the oneness of mankind and the promise of Baha'u'llah, the prophet founder of the Baha'i faith, that all of mankind will one day be united as one human family.